Something that I believe is a lost art is the way in which game reviewers would bend over and take it from their viewers while dealing with shitty games that they forced them to play. You will see people go into genuine hell for a game review, whole time they were just playing Frogger on the PS1. It cannot be this serious! And of all the games you hear people talking about, Bubsy is somehow always there. I mean, seriously, this dude is literally gaining notoriety nowadays for getting his first good game in 2026. That should tell you how good the road has gone for this best value sleep paralysis demon. So here I am, a self-proclaimed internet funny man, ready to play Bubsy 3D since Bubsy 4D comes out, well shit, today if I finish the video fast enough, and negativity is forever the selling machine for YouTube views, and God knows that I need them. Subscribe if you liked the video, by the way. So here I am, ready to sell my soul in order to play Bubsy 3D, so you don't have to. The story is, admittedly I wasn't paying attention, but from what I could gather, it sort of seems like these little critters are off a planet somewhere around this galaxy and are trying to take over the Earth. However, their plans are interrupted by Bubsy, who I can only describe as the most obnoxious attempt I've ever seen at somebody being funny. I can already tell what comment you're trying to make right now. You're clearly on par with the motherfucker. Before the story even begun telling itself, I was thinking about how the hell they made a cutscene in... what is this, 12p? What the hell is this? So first off, damn, you kinda ugly, granddad. I started thinking about other places in which I saw 3D graphics like this, and legitimately came to the conclusion that Star Fox for the SNES and random rolling cinematics have more appeal than this game visually speaking. First game I've ever played in my less than 20 years of life in which I can describe the visual style as some bullshit with polygons. I am wholeheartedly impressed. The game looks, and to be honest, I kind of wish that I stopped looking. The game has a quite curious story behind it, as the devs literally had no knowledge of any 3D platformer being in development, so they were kind of thinking that, you know, they were being trailblazers, deciding a whole new genre, so they had no idea what to aim for. They also didn't know how to make the game look good. If I took the time to analyze the environmental storytelling and display, I could probably create environments in my mind based on what I believe the game is trying to tell me, but I severely doubt that I could give the game credit for those images. I mean, some of the cutscenes and animations are quite fun, especially the death animations, because you can't stop seeing them at every moment. But stop, before we get to that, prepare your ears for auditory experiences that you will have without your consent, because this game will put your ears through the ringer. Bubsy is a character sort of like Gags, in a sense that after 10 minutes you're becoming a lot more violent than you have in your entire life. Throughout the game, the entire experience, this unfortunate body without a soul will scream at the top of his lungs lines that would make somebody laugh if the person was currently on acid trips never recorded in human civilizations. Some people have never been punched, and if I ever catch whoever wrote and directed the lines for this game. However, when Bubsy isn't moving like an unfunny Discord mod, the music of the game is sure to remind you of the fate that awaits you when you tempt the devil. Normally when I'm talking about a game, I play the music of a game in the background to kind of match the theme that I'm trying to go for, right? But if I did that for this game, then I would create a global transmutation circle with Bubsy emerging at its center and figuring the world plus the gates of heaven as he gains powers beyond our comprehension and reshapes the world to be something entirely different. The sound department of the game is actually so bad that when I was recording the footage, a bunch of friends had to mute the Discord stream because of how god-awful the sound effects were. I think that speaks for itself. But surely the gameplay can be better than, well, tackle my pickle because you would not believe what I have to say. The game controls like a dream. But like, the ones in which you're running from something and your body suddenly decides to start doing Scooby-Doo comedy sticks. And like at that point, just put it in. This specimen is sluggish, speed is too volatile, stops like he's on ice, turns too slowly, and speaks like a Drake fan. Never mind telling my soul, I'm already in hell! Bubsy is so incredibly hard to control because he is simply too awkward to move around with. Simply looking around the levels is a test of patience that you will see in an anime character arc. Being precise with the motherfucker is damn near impossible too. You ever wanted to jump and see the ground? And only the ground? Like, wow, I can see my feet so well in the air. Dan Schneider, relax! And this isn't helped by the fact that these levels are not complimentary whatsoever of the controls that God has unfortunately cursed his strongest soldiers with. Let's start with the basics. I don't know where I am. From the first level to the last, this game is so god ugly with repeated assets all over that getting hit with the right path right in the face will only result in a concussion. And once you finally manage to locate the pathway that you need to take to continue with this godforsaken adventure, you now have to deal with enemies that are annoying as shit. Most of the time you can't really see what the enemies are throwing at you. The other times you can't feasibly react because the game spreads your ass cheeks and leaves you in the most vulnerable positions in which you either take it like a champ or perish. And 100% of the times, this game fucking cheats! I used the rewind feature on this water level, the best levels in the game because you can skip right to the end by the way, because right at the end, this dude kept hitting me from Shanghai while I was chilling in a random beach in Australia. What the hell is this? Most men will never see this many inches of distance in their life, and you want me to believe that they hit me from here? Most enemies you can't see coming, and some you can't even avoid due to the piss poor enemy placement. And this is something that will happen in damn near every level of the game. The only way to escape most of these levels as unscathed as physically possible would be for you to spend most of the game jumping, since it gives you the most mobility and allows you to move semi-quickly in most directions. The problem with that is that it also means 50% of the game you see is straight fucking floor. And surprisingly enough, the bosses also suck and are pretty piss poor at communicating what you have to do. Now, I'm just really good at guessing shit, so I immediately knew what to do, right? But brother, how the hell was I supposed to know this will let me fly? Now I will say is that at the very least the experience is quite short-lived if you manage to locate yourself semi-decently throughout all of these levels. Personally, the game only took me 3 or so hours, and that's really because in some levels I just got so lost that I gave up and busted out some YouTube videos. But if you really wanted to, you could probably knock out the game in 2 or less hours. To be entirely frank, what you just saw in this video isn't even all of the things that are quite wrong with this game. I am just heavily truncating my thoughts on this experience, because if I actually wanted to talk about every single thing that I found to be asinine, this video would come out a bunch of weeks later, and I want to capitalize on the hype of a game that is actually looking to be pretty decent out of this motherfucking bobcat. The game also got a re-release in a collection last year that gives some actual decent controls, which I tried slightly for the purposes of this video, but best believe that it doesn't make the game actually good. Now, I made this video really quickly since Bubsy 4D is coming out, and I hope that the team has a lot of success with this game since Demon Turf and Demon Tides are both incredible games. But if you end up liking the game, then please for the love of God assume no other Bubsy game has ever existed before this one. Believe me, you will not like what you see. Well, that's all the time that I've had for today. I'm just here registering you man on the internet, but hey, just call me Suda.